Conflicts often arise unexpectedly, shaking our foundation. But as we approach the situation with a calm and open mind, the issue transforms. To resolve a disagreement effectively, one must view it as an opportunity for growth, both for yourself and the other person involved. The following principles, grounded in Stoic philosophy, serve as tools for turning conflicts into opportunities for understanding, resolution, and mutual benefit. Through these methods, Stoicism guides us toward turning challenging situations into valuable lessons. 1. See the bigger picture. Conflicts often arise in the heat of the moment, clouding our judgment and making us focus only on the immediate issue. Stoicism teaches us to take a step back and see the bigger picture. Instead of being consumed by the specifics of the disagreement, we should try to view the situation from a broader perspective. This means not only considering the immediate problem, but also understanding the underlying causes, potential consequences, and long-term effects. By doing so, we avoid getting caught in a cycle of negative emotions and can approach the conflict with a more thoughtful mindset. When we see beyond the conflict, we begin to understand that most problems are temporary and that reacting impulsively often worsens the situation. Stoic wisdom encourages us to focus on what we can control, our reactions and attitudes, while acknowledging that external circumstances, including others' behaviors, are beyond our power. In moments of conflict, instead of fixating on the emotional response or frustration we feel, we should remind ourselves that this too shall pass, and our primary task is to respond wisely. This broader outlook allows us to detach from the emotional intensity and enables us to think rationally. By focusing on the big picture, we are less likely to escalate the situation and more likely to find solutions that align with our values and long-term goals. In essence, seeing the bigger picture helps us approach conflicts with a clear mind and an open heart, turning potential clashes into constructive discussions. 2. Practice self-restraint. In moments of conflict, emotions can run high, making it difficult to think clearly. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-restraint, the ability to pause and control our reactions. This practice is key to preventing rash actions that could escalate the situation. When we feel anger or frustration building inside, it is crucial to resist the urge to act impulsively. Instead, we should take a moment to breathe, reflect, and regain control over our emotions. This moment of pause allows us to assess the situation more thoughtfully and decide how to respond, rather than simply reacting in the heat of the moment. Self-restraint is not about suppressing or ignoring our emotions. It's about recognizing them and choosing not to let them dictate our behavior. By acknowledging our feelings without letting them control us, we create space for reasoned decision-making. This practice not only prevents unnecessary conflict, but also helps us maintain our dignity and composure, even in the face of provocation. By exercising self-restraint, we demonstrate emotional maturity and a commitment to resolving conflicts peacefully. Stoic thinkers like Epictetus emphasize the idea that while we cannot control others' actions, we always have control over how we respond. Practicing self-restraint in the midst of conflict allows us to navigate challenging situations with grace and wisdom, ultimately leading to better outcomes for ourselves and those involved. 3. Focus on what you can control. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is the distinction between things within our control and things beyond our control. This understanding is essential when dealing with conflicts. Often, we become frustrated or upset because we try to control things that are outside our influence, such as other people's behavior, opinions, or decisions. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, emotions, and actions. By doing so, we free ourselves from the anxiety that comes from trying to manage the uncontrollable. In a conflict, this practice involves recognizing that while we may not be able to change someone else's behavior or views, we have full control over how we respond. When we accept that some things are simply beyond our reach, we can stop expending energy on them and instead focus on our reactions. This not only reduces stress, but also empowers us to act with intention rather than being swept away by external circumstances. By focusing on our own responses, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and resilience. When we take responsibility for our own actions and emotions, we become less dependent on external validation or approval. This approach leads to more stable, harmonious relationships, as it removes the need to control others and encourages mutual respect and understanding. 4. Listen actively. In any disagreement, communication is key. However, effective communication goes beyond simply speaking. It involves truly listening. Active listening is a skill that requires us to fully engage with the other person's words, emotions, and intentions. Stoicism teaches us the importance of listening attentively, not just to respond, but to understand the other person's perspective. When we practice active listening, we create space for empathy, allowing us to connect on a deeper level with the person we are in conflict with. Listening actively means paying attention to the speaker's words and nonverbal cues, such as tone of voice, body language, and facial expressions. It involves listening without judgment or interruption, resisting the urge to formulate a response while the other person is speaking. By doing this, we show respect and open the door to mutual understanding. Active listening can defuse tension and allow both parties to feel heard, which can lead to a more constructive resolution. In the context of Stoicism, active listening aligns with the idea of practicing self-control and mindfulness. Instead of reacting immediately to a perceived insult or injustice, we listen to the underlying feelings and motivations of the other person. This enables us to respond more thoughtfully, turning potential conflict into an opportunity for connection and growth. 5. Use humor to diffuse tension. Humor can be a powerful tool in resolving conflicts, as long as it is used wisely. In tense situations, humor has the ability to break the ice, lighten the mood, and defuse tension. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control the external circumstances of a conflict, we can control how we approach it, and humor can help us regain perspective. A well-timed joke or a lighthearted comment can help people relax and shift their focus from the conflict to a more neutral or positive topic. However, humor must be used carefully. It should never come at the expense of others or be used to belittle or mock. Instead, it should aim to bring people together, allowing both parties to step back from the situation and gain a fresh perspective. In this way, humor can serve as a bridge to understanding, providing a moment of levity in the midst of disagreement. Stoic philosophers often emphasize the importance of maintaining a sense of humor and not taking life too seriously. By laughing at ourselves and the absurdity of certain situations, we can avoid getting caught up in the heat of the moment. Humor, when used appropriately, allows us to approach conflict with a lighter heart and a clearer mind, making it easier to find common ground and resolve disagreements amicably. 6. Offer empathy. Empathy is a key component of resolving conflict, as it allows us to connect with others on an emotional level. Stoicism teaches us that to truly understand and resolve conflict, we must put ourselves in the other person's shoes. When we practice empathy, we are able to recognize and acknowledge the feelings, perspectives, and needs of others, even when we disagree with them. This doesn't mean that we have to agree with their point of view, but it allows us to approach the situation with a greater sense of understanding and compassion. Offering empathy involves actively listening to the other person, validating their feelings, and seeking to understand their position. It means being open to the possibility that their actions are driven by their own struggles, fears, or values. When we empathize, we move away from a position of judgment and toward one of connection, which fosters a more productive and respectful conversation. In Stoic thought, empathy aligns with the idea of shared humanity. The Stoics believe that all people are interconnected and that understanding each other's experiences is essential to living harmoniously. By offering empathy, we strengthen our relationships and build trust, paving the way for mutual growth and resolution. 7. Embrace compromise. Compromise is often seen as a form of surrender, but in Stoic philosophy, it is an essential tool for resolving conflict. Embracing compromise doesn't mean giving up your values or conceding defeat. Rather, It involves finding a middle ground where both parties' needs and perspectives are acknowledged and respected. Stoicism teaches us that life is not about rigidly sticking to one's position, but about navigating the complexities of human relationships with wisdom and flexibility. In any conflict, both sides may have valid points, and compromise allows for a solution that benefits everyone involved. By being open to negotiation and understanding that no one person can always be right, we create an environment where cooperation is possible. Stoics believe that the key to harmonious living was adaptability, and compromise is a manifestation of that adaptability in action. When we embrace compromise, we show maturity and emotional intelligence. Instead of clinging to our own ego or viewpoint, we demonstrate a willingness to work with others and find solutions that foster peace and understanding. This not only strengthens relationships, but also cultivates an inner sense of peace, as we are no longer fighting over trivial matters, but working toward mutual benefit. 8. Seek external help. Sometimes conflicts become so complex or emotional that it's difficult to resolve them on our own. In these instances, Stoicism suggests seeking external help. This could mean turning to a neutral third party, such as a mediator, counselor, or trusted friend, to help navigate the disagreement. External help provides a fresh perspective, allowing both parties to see the situation more clearly and find common ground. Seeking help is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it is a demonstration of wisdom and humility. Recognizing that we do not have all the answers and that outside perspectives can provide valuable insights is an important aspect of personal growth. Stoicism teaches us to approach conflicts with an open mind and to be willing to learn from others, especially when we find ourselves at an impasse. By consulting someone outside the conflict, we can gain clarity, reduce emotional intensity, and receive guidance on how to proceed. This practice helps us remain objective and open-minded, ensuring that we resolve the conflict in a way that is fair and constructive for everyone involved. 9. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is a central aspect of Stoic philosophy, as it allows us to release the emotional weight of past grievances and move forward with peace. Holding onto resentment or anger after a conflict only serves to harm ourselves, trapping us in negative emotions. Stoicism teaches that forgiving others is not about excusing their actions, but about freeing ourselves from the burden of unforgiveness. When we forgive, we release the power that the offense holds over us, enabling us to regain our peace of mind. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting the harm done or allowing others to continue mistreating us. Rather, it is an internal process that allows us to let go of the negative emotions associated with the event. By forgiving, we protect our own well-being and preserve our inner calm, which is essential for personal growth. In Stoic thought, forgiveness is also linked to understanding the nature of human imperfection. We all make mistakes, and by recognizing our shared humanity, we can approach forgiveness with compassion rather than judgment. Through forgiveness, we not only heal ourselves, but also create the conditions for healthier, more harmonious relationships moving forward. 10. Turn conflict into growth. Stoicism teaches us that conflict is not something to avoid, but something to embrace as an opportunity for personal growth. Every disagreement or challenge presents a chance to learn more about ourselves, our values, and our emotional triggers. Rather than seeing conflict as something to be feared or eliminated, we can view it as a chance to develop resilience, wisdom, and emotional intelligence. Through introspection and self-evaluation, we can turn conflict into a tool for self-improvement. By reflecting on our reactions, examining our beliefs, and considering how we can respond more effectively in the future, we transform adversity into a powerful catalyst for growth. This mindset shift turns obstacles into stepping stones, allowing us to emerge stronger, wiser, and more prepared for future challenges. Stoicism teaches us that we are the architects of our own growth. By taking responsibility for our actions and reactions in conflict, we cultivate the inner strength needed to face life's challenges with grace. Conflict becomes not a threat, but an opportunity to refine our character and improve our relationships.